Hi, Dr. Heather here from Wellspring Chiropractic Lifestyle Center. Today I want to review with you the 3 most important factors that affect digestion problems. The first one is genetics. What did we come in with? Now it turns out that there are actually genetic variants that actually will increase the risk that people will have very specific types of digestion problems. We find that, things like celiac runs in families, and many people will comment that they have other family members that struggle with the same types of digestive problems. Now, the thing that's important here is that, yes, you can inherit different genetic variants, or what we call SNPs, single nucleotide proteins. But what we find is that those things that we inherit, those genetic variants, they may be upregulated and expressing, or they may be downregulated and they may be dormant. And many people describe how they grew up okay, and then at a certain point, suddenly they started to have digestive problems. And so the thing that can cause a variant that is a vulnerability to upregulate and start to express is when there are different stresses in the environment that can trigger it. Now, we do know very specifically that depending on what that variant is and what part of the function it's in charge of controlling, that there usually are very specific nutrients that can help to reconcile that can help to optimize that function so that it stops being a vulnerability. So we want to look at whether there's some genetic specific nutrition that we need to be using. Now, also, as I said, the thing that causes us to upregulate certain variants that are vulnerabilities are stresses. And so we want to also look at what other stressors in the environment that you may have been exposed to that may be causing and or perpetuating your digestive concerns. We want to look at it in 3 dimensions: how you eat, how you move, and how you think, meaning physical stresses, mental, emotional stresses, and chemical stresses. I actually like to call them the 3 T's: thoughts, toxins, and traumas. So we'll want to look closely at, do you have stressful thoughts that are going on? If so, that can shut digestion down. And so we're going to want to train you on what are the best practices for dealing with stress more effectively. If you have physical stresses that are actually interfering with digestion happening correctly, we know that people that struggle with heartburn, they know that if they have poor posture, that can actually increase reflux and that sort of thing. We know that people that eat late at night and then go to sleep, change their postural position, that can seem to be a trigger for digestive concerns. So we're going to look closely at whether there's any physical stresses or postural bad habits that need to be addressed. And then, of course, there is toxins, or how you eat is the most common way for that to come in. So we'll do an evaluation of, are there any actual real toxins you've been exposed to that could be interfering with digestion? Sometimes heavy metals can cause leaky gut. We also will do an inventory to see not just if there are toxins that need to be removed and detoxed, but also if there are nutritional deficiencies that are causing digestive concerns. So whether we need to look at what your diet is and make changes to have a healthier diet, or whether it needs to be tissue-specific nutrients that we need to evaluate to see if that's what's needed in order to heal and seal the gut, to weed, seed, and feed the gut. And so that's how we get our best results, is by addressing those 2 factors. And now the third factor is the microbiome. And the microbiome is that community of microorganisms that are actually the healthy, beneficial ones that are going to keep us healthy. We have 10 times as many gut flora and microbiome in our body, more than the actual cells that we have of our own human tissue. And so we have to keep that microbiome healthy and strong. And so it may mean that we need to do some rebuilding of that microbiome. Folks oftentimes have had it disrupted from the use of antibiotics and that sort of thing, but other things can disrupt it as well. So we look at all of those factors, and when we put all of that together, that's how we get our best results of discovering what is causing digestive concerns and how we can help. I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, please share it with friends and family.